computer.
Okay, should we start?
Yep.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya-Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Manojavam Marutulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayuta Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shri Ramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Cha Janakatmaja Purato Marutir Yasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam. Hare Krishna. Welcome back. Many of us were, I guess, together for the yatra. So in one sense, we are going back and forth in the Ramayana. We just heard amazing lectures on Aranyakanda and the beginning and Kishkinda Kanda and the very first chapter or so of Sundara Kanda. But we're going to go back to Balakanda because we are going through a detailed journey of Srimad Ramayana. We met a few weeks ago on this forum, and we left off where for Dasaratha, after many years, had 4 sons, and his joy had no limit. He was so happy with his 4 sons. We heard how they got the best of education, the best of association of saintly persons, and Dasaratha was on the highest position of Vatsalya Prem. So as this was continuing, in the Ramayana, it doesn't give age of the boys until what I'm going to tell you right now. So just to, I guess, break the suspense, the boys are about 12 years old. So Dasaratha has been enjoying their company for all these years. Unlike Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no description of any childhood activities except for a general gloss on that these boys were amazing, they studied very well, they heard from saintly persons, they were good with horse riding, Ramachandra was the expert at climbing an elephant and hunting, and very princely, but very well endowed with saintly qualities. So we're going to go to literally the end of 18th chapter of Balakanda, where it says, Atha Raja Dasaratha Tesham Darakriyam Prati Chintayamasa Dharmatma Sopadhyaya Sabandhava. So Dasaratha was sitting with all of the teachers, Upadhyaya, and Bandhava, all the relatives of these 4 boys, all their family relatives and teachers. They were sitting down and Chintayamasa Dasaratha. He was thinking. His name is Dharmaraja. So he says Dharmatma. He's thinking something. Atha Raja Dasaratha Tesham, in his company of all these people, Darakriyam Prati. He was thinking about how to get these boys married. He felt that they were at an age that perhaps that topic made sense. So the next verse says, Tasya Chintayamasa Mantri Madhye Mahatmana. So he was discussing with the teachers, he was discussing with the relatives, and then he took this topic to his court. And in the midst of all of his ministers, Mantri Madhye, he says, Abhyagachata Mahateja Vishwamitro Mahamuni. So while he was discussing this topic about marriage for his 4 boys, out of the blue, the great Vishwamitra Mahamuni arrived in Ayodhya. And he was received at the gates of Ayodhya by the gatekeepers. And Vishwamitra introduces himself and tells the gatekeepers, please inform Dasaratha Maharaj that I would like to meet him. Sa Ragyo Darshana Akankshi, with the desire to meet the king. Dvaradhyaksha Anuvacha, he spoke to the gatekeepers. Shigramakyatamam Praptam. Shigram, very quickly go and inform the king that Kaushikam Gadhinah Sutam, that the son of Gadhi, his name is Gadhi, Gadhina Sutam, the son of Gadhi, or the descendant of Gadhi, and the one who's in the family lineage of Kushika. Therefore, his name is Kaushika. So this is a very wonderful way where great persons don't introduce themselves by their name. They introduce themselves by their ancestry. This is the quality of great persons, because they are born in great lineages. Of course, there are many great persons who are not born in great lineages, but when they are, then their pride and their honor is to be part of such a lineage. Therefore, many times in Bhagavad Gita we notice Krishna addressing Arjuna as Bharata, etc., to remind him of and to honor the previous ancestry. So the gatekeeper ran and informed Dasaratha Maharaj that Vishwamitra is here. As soon as they heard Vishwamitra's name, Dasaratha and his ministers got up and ran to the gate. And it said that they ran to the gate with excitement and fear. The excitement is because a great sadhu has arrived, and that too unannounced, and I don't want to say uninvited, but without previous notice. So in the true sense, he is Atithi. And Atithi Devo Bhava is as good as the Supreme Lord has arrived. And Dasaratha Maharaj is showing how to receive saintly association. But as soon as he came, they were so happy. He ran, but he was also afraid. He was afraid because this sage has a reputation. His name is Vishwamitra. And actually his name is made of 2 pieces or 2 words, Vishwa and Mitra. Now, generally we know from Sanskrit rule that when you combine Vishwa and Mitra, the word is Vishwamitra. But his name is Vishwamitra. So then one might say that the excitement is to know that Vishwamitra is arrived, that one who is a friend to the entire universe. But Vishwamitra means when he gets angry, he can make the entire universe his enemy. That means he can curse the entire universe if he wants. So the excitement and fear are together. But according to Sanskrit grammar, this is just a side note, when the name Vishwa and Mitra is there, and it actually refers to a great rishi, then the two words, when they combine, there is a long A in between. So it's called Vishwamitra. So he is indeed a friend of the entire universe. So when Vishwamitra was received in the court of Dasaratha Maharaj, he was invited and a very, very nice seat was given. Dasaratha Maharaj washed his feet and all his attendants were attending upon Vishwamitra very nicely. He offered him nice foodstuffs. There was charmer, a fan. There was the peacock feather. Everything. He was received so very well. A grand feast was offered to Vishwamitra. And when he was sitting down peacefully, then Dasaratha Maharaj addressed him. Oh, great sage, my entire dynasty has been blessed by your arrival. I cannot tell you how fortunate I am that someone like you, who is benevolent, has arrived to meet with us and give us an honor and opportunity to serve you. And Vishwamitra also asked Dasaratha Maharaj, how is your kingdom? Is everything all right? Have the crops yielded enough grain for you? Are all the Brahmanas reciting their mantras and performing their occupational duties? Are all your ministers advising you properly? Is your treasury full? Are there any problems in your kingdom? Etc. etc. Now, one of the items in this Balakanda is, although it is titled Balakanda, there is absolutely no description of Lord Ramachandra's Balya or childhood. Very much the verses go that in this chapter itself, the Lord Ramachandra and his three brothers are born, and in a few verses they are grown up, and suddenly Vishwamitra has appeared. So one may wonder whether Valmiki's naming this chapter, this whole section Balakanda, how appropriate is it? Then it is said that it is actually very, very appropriate. Because this Balakanda, Bala, in fact, some commentators say refers not to Ramachandra, but actually refers to Vishwamitra. Because in this entire canto, Vishwamitra plays a very significant role and an important role. And the important role is that Vishwamitra is the spiritual master. And any person's life becomes meaningful and has a purpose only when they meet a spiritual master. Up until then, whoever they are, however great they are, and whatever their achievements might be, it is not completely valuable and successful unless one meets a spiritual master. So there are two personalities in the Ramayana who play the role of Guru. One is Vishwamitra, the other is Sri Hanuman. And both these Gurus play different roles. Vishwamitra plays the role of Guru for Lord Ramachandra, and Hanuman plays the role of Guru for all the living entities. That's how the commentaries say. So Vishwamitra, one, has arrived at a very, very particular moment. Now, let's go back to Srimad Bhagavatam, because that's a book we are more familiar with. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when Vyasadeva is sitting down on the banks of Saraswati in deep thought, suddenly Narada Muni appears to help resolve that situation. Similarly here, we have read that Dasaratha Maharaj is sitting down with his ministers, relatives, and all the teachers, and he says, Chintaya Masa Darakriyam Prati. He's thinking about and concerned about the marriage of these 4 boys. And suddenly, Vishwamitra has appeared on the scene, which means Vishwamitra's real purpose, although what he will say is different, but his real purpose is something else. The real purpose is to solve this concern of Dasaratha Maharaj as to how to get these boys married and who to get them married to. So because he has arrived at such a critical moment, he plays the role of Guru. And the title Bala applies to the spiritual master, because the spiritual master has characteristics of a child. So when we say as a characteristics of a child, one should not confuse that with childishness. Even the most mature person on this planet is childish because they're unintelligent or unaware of the presence of the Jivatma. But childlike has a different meaning and connotation. Childlike in these 2 senses, in these 2 ways. One, a child has a particular type of innocence. So the spiritual master also has a childlike innocence. And the childlike innocence is that they're not politically savvy. They don't get into the Machiavellian maneuvering of people's psychology. They're not into manipulating. They're not into somehow or the other influencing someone else by any kind of duplicity. Children have the ability that they say whatever they say without any filter, without any thinking. So in fact, a child can speak truth without any hesitation. That an adult will hesitate. Oh, I don't know if I can say it like that or not. So the spiritual master similarly speaks the truth without hesitation, without filter per se. Of course, they're experts, but in this case, there is a childlike innocence. And the second one is that children don't necessarily defend themselves. So the spiritual master is also one who doesn't defend himself per se. Now, there is nothing to defend. We hear that ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyameta pashubhir naranam. Bhaya, because of fear, every human being, in fact every animal, insect, bird, fish, is all into defense because there is a fear of death. The spiritual master is fearless. And because he is fearless, because he's fearless, there is no defense. So these two characteristics are the reason, or one of the reasons, why this canto is called Balakanda. So back to the story, and the spiritual master plays a very, very important role. The important role is that the spiritual master brings together the Supreme Lord and his energy, his Ladini potency together. So Vishwamitra has this objective to unite Lord Ramachandra with Sita Devi. So far, they have been separate. They have not met each other. Although the Supreme Lord and his Ladini potency can never be separated, in this case, they are experiencing separation, and Vishwamitra is the person who is going to play the role of bringing them together. The backstory is we will see how later Lord Ramachandra and Lakshmana are escorted by Vishwamitra to the ashram of Shatananda. Now Shatananda is the son of Gautama Rishi and Ahalya. And Shatananda, this is not in Valmiki Ramayana, but Shatananda and all the group of sages, they are very eager to see Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi unite. So Shatananda, on behalf of all the sages in Siddhashram, Dandaka, etc., requests Vishwamitra, sir, can you please somehow or the other make it happen such that Lord Ramachandra can meet Sita Devi? Because he has been asked by all the sages as a service to them, Vishwamitra announces or attends or appears at Dasaratha's palace unannounced. That's the backstory. So now, when Vishwamitra has been received nicely, and all the happy words of hospitality has been offered by Dasarath Maharaj, Dasarath Maharaj also promises, please tell me, whatever you need, I will do. Whatever desire, request you have, although great sages like you have absolutely no desire, yet you have come here to give us an opportunity to serve you and make our lives successful. So ask whatever you want, and I will I will fulfill those requests because it is befitting the Ikshvaku race and the tutelage of Vasishtha. So then Vishwamitra says, listen, Dasaratha Maharaj, I'm performing a yajna. That's a 6-day long yajna with all the sages. And every time we begin the yajna, there are these two fellows, Maricha and Subahu, who disturb the yajna. They throw blood and flesh into the sacrifice. They make these horrific noises and loud yelling that all the sages are very, very deeply disturbed. So I need from you this favor that I would like to take Sri Ramachandra with me to kill these two demons. And there is a famous shloka in the 19th chapter, it's the 14th verse, where before Dasaratha can say anything or protest whether or not Ramachandra can go, he is assuring Dasaratha Maharaj of Ramachandra's capability to take care of these two demons. And he says, Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam Ramam Satya Parakramam Vasishthopi Mahateja Ye Che Me Tapasi Sthitah. He says, Aham Vedmi Mahatmana. Now, generally, great sages, to begin a sentence with Aham, one may think of it as a prideful statement. So first, when he says Aham Vedmi, first let me tell you what the verse means. He says, I know for sure that Rama, who is Satya Parakrama, the one who wins over everyone by his truthfulness, is actually a Mahatmana. He is a very, very great person. Mahatmana. And not just me, Vasishtho api, even Vasishtha knows. Plus, Che me tapasi sthita, and also all the great sages who are assembled in your court, they also know that Ramachandra is a very, very great person, not an ordinary human being. So the Acharyas comment that this shloka has a lot of potency in it and meaning. First of all, it says, Aham Vedmi Mahatmanaha. This phrase is a phrase from Rig Veda, specifically the Purusha Sukta. The Purusha Sukta says, Vedaham ekam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tapasah Parastat. Vedaham Mahatmana. So Vishwamitra is using the same Vedic statement, just reordered the words. Aham Vedmi Mahatmanam Ramam Satya Parakramam. So here the reason he is using these words, Aham Vedmi, so there are many meanings to it. First, he's telling Dasaratha Maharaj, listen, Dasaratha, I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of years studying all the jnana of the Vedas. You as an emperor have not studied, so you don't know what I know. So because I have studied under great sages, I have bowed down to their feet many, many times. You are a king. You don't bow down to anyone and everyone so often. So first, I am more knowledgeable than you are. Because as soon as he says, I know Lord Ramachandra is a great person, Dasaratha Maharaj can protest and say, well, you've never met my son, first of all. This is the first time you're visiting my palace. And how can anyone know my son better than me? He's living with me. Right? So to checkmate him, he says, Aham Vedmi Mahatmana. I know your son. In fact, I know him better than you do. Okay? So that's the first one, that I have knowledge that I've learned from great sages for thousands of years. Second, I'm not influenced by Rajoguna and Tamoguna anymore. I'm influenced by Sattva-guna, and I'm a tapasvi. But you, as the king, still deal with mode of passion and mode of ignorance from morning till night, because you're an emperor. Third, because of my tapasya, I have gathered and I have been blessed with knowledge about the absolute. But your tapasya every day is not about knowledge of the absolute. Your tapasya is to flourish your kingdom. It's a third reason. When I say Aham Vedmi, I know for sure. Fourth reason, I have engaged in Moksha Kameshti Yajna. That means I have performed yajnas one after the other simply for going back to Godhead. What kind of yajna have you performed, Dasaratha? You have done Putra Kameshti Yoga. All you wanted was a son. So you did a whole Ashwamedha Yajna to get a son. And albeit you got the Supreme Personality, you don't know. You think of him as a simple little boy who's the object of your affection. And the part of the reason why you are in the mode of passion and ignorance is because you think Ramachandra is only for you, your son. He should only be with you. But I have knowledge of the absolute. Ramachandra is for everyone. And he needs to come out of the palace and give his association and mercy to everybody, including the demons. Then he says, I am involved in mostly dharma and moksha. Dasaratha Maharaj, you're involved mostly in artha and kama. Then another reason is everyone who performs yajna actually are supposed to wear on their right hand ring finger a ring like darbha grass called pavitram. Without that you cannot perform yajna. So he says, in my hand I'm always holding kusha grass and the pavitram that gives me the authority to perform yajna. But what are you holding in your hand? Danda of a king that is only used for power and punishment. So I am at a higher position than you are. And finally, it's emphasis on the previous point that you think your son is an ordinary boy. I know that he is Paramatma. So this is the meaning for Aham Vedmi Mahatmana. So that's the Purusha Sukta prayer that we discussed. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasas Parastat. So, and then Vishwamitra Muni says, don't just go by my analysis. Your great teacher Vasishtha and all the other great sages, Vamadeva, Kashyapa, etc., who are there in your court, they will attest to what I have said, that Lord Ramachandra is not an ordinary person. So when Dasaratha hears this, he is still unsure. Then Vishwamitra tells him, if you send Ramachandra with me, it will not only help the sages, but it will bring a lot of glory to Lord Ramachandra. Third, don't worry, I am there to protect him, and I will teach him all the secrets of weaponry, because I have learnt it from Lord Shiva. So whatever weapons Lord Shiva knows and uses, I know the same, and I will teach him to Lord Ramachandra. I'll teach them to Lord Ramachandra. Plus, imagine the glory it will bring to you. So he says, Yadi dharma labham yasho labham. If you want to gain the blessings of the sages, plus the fame that will come to you by giving Lord Ramachandra to me, then you should not hesitate. Actually, when he says Vedaham etam or Aham Vedmi Mahatmana, he says, I already know the glory of your son. He will kill Tataka. He will kill Maricha and Subahu. He will relieve Ahalya from her curse. He will break Lord Shiva's bow. He will marry Sita Devi. He will cut away or diminish the pride of Parashurama. Plus, he doesn't say it, but in the background it is obvious that he will also kill Ravana. So when he says Aham Vedmi Mahatmanaha, Dasaratha is trembling out of fear. His entire body is shaking and he is stuttering. He cannot speak clearly. Whatever words coming out of his mouth, he's just mumbling out of fear of separation from Lord Ramachandra and fear of Vatsalya Prema. That how can my little boy go and fight the demons. So just thinking about it, Dasaratha Maharaj fainted in his throne. A few moments later, when he came back to external consciousness, Dasaratha Maharaj pleads with Vishwamitra that my son Lord Ramachandra is not qualified. So he says, Un shodasho varsho me Ramo Rajiva Lochanaha Na Yudhya Yoga Na Yudhya Yogyata Na Yudhya Yogyatam Asya Pashyami Saharakshasa. He says, Un shodasho varsho me. My dear Lord Ramachandra, my boy, Un shodasho. He's not even 16. Actually, Un shodasha means 3/4 of 16, or a quarter less than 16. That is 12 years old. He says, my boy is only 12 years old. And the reason 16 years is referred to is generally in warfare. Unless you're 16 years old, you're not allowed to fight a battle. You're not allowed to have a formal battle with anyone. This is one of the reasons Abhimanyu was not brought into the battle. But later, Abhimanyu came and fought and he was killed. And Arjuna was very, very angry that he had just been 16 and he was brought into the battlefield. Second, Un Shodasho, not yet 16, means he's such a young boy that even his first mustache hair or first beard hasn't appeared. Generally, when 12-year-old boys, they don't have mustache or beard yet. Not even the first few hairs that come out, this sort of patchy, ugly looking. It is not even that. So he is very, very young. Second, the word is Rajiva Lochanaha. By referring to Lord Ramachandra as Rajiva Lochana, the Acharyas comment that Rajiva means a lotus that is open during the day, and as soon as sunset happens, as soon as the sun sets, the lotus closes. So he says that my boy, whose eyes are like lotus petals, they close at sunset. He goes to bed very early. These Rakshasas, they wake up after sunset. That's why they're called Nishacharas. So my boy is not used to fighting at night. He goes to bed very early. He's a very, very princely, well-behaved, orderly boy. So he's not fit for fighting these demons. Un Shodasho Varsho me. So then Vishwamitra says, Dasaratha Maharaj says, forget Lord Ramachandra. You want to fight Subahu and Maricha? I will personally come. Not only me, I will bring my entire Akshauhini of army. That should be more than enough. Because Dasaratha Maharaj has the title and the credit of fighting for the demigods. They had invited him, please come and help us. Usually demigods don't ask human help for anything. They help the human beings. But Dasaratha Maharaj was such a great warrior that they invited him, please come and help us. And he helped them and won their battle. So he tells Vishwamitra, forget my son, I will come. And I will bring my entire Akshauhini of army to fight. And then he says, tell me more about Maricha and Subahu. Who are they? Why are they so powerful? So in the 20th chapter, verse number 16, Vishwamitra tells who Subahu and Maricha are empowered by. He says, Paulastya Vamsha Prabhavo Ravano Nama Rakshasaha Sa Brahmana Datta Vairya Trailokyam Badhate Ghrisham Mahabalo Mahaviryo Rakshasai Bahurvi Vritaha. That actually Behind Subahu and Maricha is this personality who is the grandson of Pulastya, one who is born in the Pulastya dynasty. Paulastya Vamsha Prabhava. He is the one who brings glory and power to Pulastya's dynasty. His name is Ravana, and he's a Rakshasa. And he has a boon given by Brahma. Brahma Datta Vara Trailokyam Badhate. His boon is such that he has got from Brahma, that he uses it with his arrogance and troubles the entire three worlds. And he is not ordinary. Mahabalo, Mahaviryo. He is very, very powerful and very, very capable of disturbing the three worlds. As soon as Dasaratha Maharaj hears the name Ravana, he says, oh, hold on a second. He says, I cannot fight Ravana. What me? Even the demigods cannot fight Ravana. So we have always kept out of his hair. So if I cannot fight Ravana, the demigods cannot fight Ravana, how will my little 12-year-old boy fight Ravana? Sorry, I cannot send my son with you. He says, Iti Narapati Jalpanat. This is verse 28. Iti Narapati Jalpanat Dvijendram Kushikasutam Sumahan Viveshaha Manyuhu. Narapati Jalpitam means the king, Narapati, the king of human beings. Jalpitam was mumbling and muttering incoherent words out of fear. And the great, in the presence of the great Brahmana, Dvijendra Kushika Sutam, the son of Kushika, the descendant of Kushika, he said, Suhut Iva, and as soon as he said to Vishwamitra that forget it, not only me, not the demigods, they can fight Ravana, so I am not going to send Ramachandra to you. Vishwamitra's anger just immediately burst up, and Valmiki Mahamuni says the way his anger sprang up is the way when in a fire yagya you pour ghee and say swaha, suddenly the fire takes on a new life. Suhuta, huta is offering of ghee. Suhuta iva makhe agnir jasya shiktaha. Just the way fire suddenly becomes so big when you pour ghee. Similarly, Maharshir Vahani, the anger which was like fire in this great sage, completely came up. So we may wonder, why is Vishwamitra so angry? Vishwamitra's anger is towards Dasaratha's selfishness. That you are holding back the greatness of Lord Ramachandra without so many people getting his mercy. Because you are suffering from the disease of I and mine. The disease of I and mine, aham mama, is, oh Vishwamitra, I have gotten this son after 60,000 years of living. And I have tried and tried in many ways to get this son. And finally, I got not one, but these 4 wonderful sons. And they are mine. How can I give them up? And if I give them up, I will lose my life. So Vishwamitra is very upset at Dasaratha Maharaj's selfishness and his weakness owing to this attachment. So then Vishwamitra tells him in the 21st chapter, Yadidam te kshamam rajam gamishyami yathagatam. Okay, you don't want to send Ramachandra with me? No problem, I'll go away. But what it will make you is mithya pratigya kakutha sukhi bhava savandhava. It will make you a liar. Mithya pratigya. You have promised and unfulfilled. And he says kakutha. So he taunts him that you have a title of being a descendant of King Kakutha, but mithya pragyita, you are not fulfilling your promise. So you are unfitting, unworthy son of in this lineage of Kakutha. And then he scornfully and sarcastically tells him, Sukhi bhava savandhava, sit at home with your family and relatives and just be happy. You're useless for anyone. And is about to turn and walk away. So Vasishtha, who is the sage there, understands that Vishwamitra's anger is not ordinary. So he runs down or he walks up to Dasaratha Maharaj and he intervenes and he tells him, Oh Dasaratha Maharaj, please don't bring unglory to your ancestors. That's one. Second, Sri Ramachandra is invincible. Nothing will happen to Lord Ramachandra. Plus, Vishwamitra is going to protect him. Third, Vishwamitra will deliver to him and initiate him in all the weapons and weaponry and teach him very specialized archery that is actually good for Lord Ramachandra. So please send him. So finally, Dasaratha agrees. And we're going to pause here because from here on, they are going to start walking into the forest. So Vishwamitra has a whole different objective. Okay, so some acharyas explain a little humorously that the actual objective is to bring him to Sita Devi. The question is, why can't he just say, I need to take him to Sita Devi and so he can get married? And Dasaratha Maharaj would be happy because that's what he was thinking about. Oh, I need to get my sons married. But Vishwamitra considers, if I take him to Janaka Maharaj's palace, and then in the palace they will ask, oh, please tell us about the boy. What has he done? Tell us about his education and tell us what has he accomplished. Then Lord Ramachandra's resume literally has very little, except for, he's a very good boy. He sleeps as soon as the sun sets. He knows all the mantras. He is, very good host. He treats the sages very nicely. But as a Kshatriya, his resume hasn't much activity. So they might say, I'm going to say it in Hindi, they may say, अच्छा लड़का पढ़ा लिखा तो है लेकिन काम तो कुछ नहीं करता है. Basically hasn't done anything. So before he goes to Sita Devi, he has to add a few accomplishments to his resume, and that is to kill Subahu, Maricha, Tataka, and then go to Sita Devi and say, or Janaka Maharaj and say, well, he's only 12 years old, but look at his accomplishments. He has killed all these demons. Then Janaka Maharaj can say, yes, he's worthy of Sita Devi. That is the Vyangya or the hidden meaning behind Vishwamitra's arrival. Okay, we'll pause here. Any comments, questions, concerns? Yamuna Jivana Prabhu, you may have to unmute all of us and mute me.
No, Prabhu, people can mute themselves. Unmute themselves, I mean.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right, that's great.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a question. Mm, how how are Maricha and Subahu linked to Ravana? I didn't catch that part.
Coming up, well, you didn't catch because I didn't throw at you. Maricha and Subahu are sons of Sunda and Upasunda. Sunda and Upasunda are indirectly related to Ravana. So I have a document, I think, that has the lineage of Ravana and all of his relatives. And in that lineage, you'll see how they are connected. Okay, I will try to post it on the WhatsApp as to how they're all the Ravana's clan and how they're all related to each other.
Thank you.
So they are Maricha, Subahu, Tataka, all of them. They are Ravana's outpost people. Like they are the managers of embassy. Ravana is sitting in Lanka, but Dandaka forest is his area where he has these people observing and harassing the sages. Because Dandaka forest is a place of residence of Rakshasas. And so they all report to headquarters in Lanka.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to know, during the yatra, what came out as one of the themes was how Ram kills a number of demons, and those demons represent a variety of obstacles in our progress in bhakti. Was Maricha discussed? And who does Maricha represent? What kind of internal does he represent? And similarly, Tataka.
The word, yeah, sure. So the word Maricha literally means mirage or illusion. And Maricha has been deputed or sent by Ravana, who's I guess the analogies of the mind. So the mind constantly harasses or wants to bewilder the living entity with illusory ideas and illusory attractions. Therefore, Maricha came as the deer with golden deer with jewel spots, etc., as part of the glitter. So the mind is constantly sending these glittering ideas that distracts the living entity from their relationship with the Supreme Lord. That's what Maricha represents. Tataka, which I didn't say now because we haven't come to killing of Tataka, but we'll say it anyway since you asked. The question in the yatra was asked, is there a reason why Lord Krishna and Lord Ramachandra, the first demon they kill is a female? So I guess one of the answers is that for any sadhaka to progress or even to begin spiritual life, one has to be able to tackle, perhaps even conquer their contaminated desires. And the word for contaminated desire or desire in Sanskrit is asha. And asha is a feminine word. So unless one tackles, overpowers, subdues, or even kills their contaminated desires, one cannot progress in bhakti. And that is why The first two demons are feminine, Tataka and Putana. They represent, they represent the desires, feminine, not feminine. They represent the contaminated desires. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Is there information about Subahu and what he represents?
There is. I don't have it in front of me. Shamkund available. If he knows on top of his head, they can explain. But there is something about Subahu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Wait, Gaurav.
Go ahead.
Hare
Gaurav
Krishna.
Sundar.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So you described Dasaratha Maharaj trembling with fear of separation from Lord Ramchandra when Vishwamitra was asking Dasaratha Maharaj. And you said he was attached, he was very selfish. But you also said he was having this Vatsalya mood.
Right.
So one may say that imposing a Vatsalya mood on Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramchandra, is purifying. It is not a selfish. How do we reconcile that?
No, both are simultaneously existing. There is no problem with that. So how we reconcile is there is Vatsalya, so there is fear, and there is the sense of healthy attachment to the Lord. But the Lord enjoys every relationship with Sambhoga and Vipralamba. And in Vipralamba, that relationship strengthens even more. So unless Lord Ramchandra leaves Ayodhya, Dasaratha's Vatsalya Prem cannot increase even more. So Vishwamitra being angry and forcing in one way is actually good for Dasaratha too. So whether you look at it from Rasa from this side or from Vishwamitra's side, both are fine. In Ramayana, since it's a Rasa Shastra, it's a book of or a work of Rasa. And Rasa, as we discussed in the Yatra, is like a river that flows with two banks of meeting and separation. And for meeting to be joyful, there has to be separation. And for separation to be joyful, there has to be meeting. So it's constantly toggling, if you will, between meeting and separation. So he was there for 12 years. Now you will separate for 10 days. Then again you will come back. Then you will go for 14 years. So meeting and separating, meeting and separating.
But isn't that very hurting on the part of Vishwamitra to convey the message in a wrong tone?
What is the wrong? Vishwamitra, there is no wrong tone. Vishwamitra is being guided by the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how can he be guru for the Lord? He is telling him that Lord Ramchandra is for everyone. Why hold him in a palace? This is like having the holy name and not give to anyone. Because, oh, it is so wonderful. I'm enjoying all the benefits of the holy name. I can't give to anyone. Or having a deity of the Lord, but no one else can take darshan. There's nothing wrong.
But the position of Dasaratha Maharaj is, I'm not able to get it because Dasaratha Maharaj is a very exalted position of being a father of Lord Ramchandra. And that
So what is your problem? That Dasaratha Maharaj did nothing wrong? Is that your concern?
Now, why should Vishwamitra react so badly to Dasaratha Maharaj so that he feels trembling and feels separated? And
So if we conclude that Vishwamitra made a mistake, you'll be happy?
yes, Prabhu.
All right, he made a mistake. Of course, I have no right to say that. But if he had made a mistake, then Vasishtha would have come and consoled Vishwamitra, not Dasaratha Maharaj. So one of the characteristics of Dasaratha Maharaj is that he very quickly promises and then he laments for a long time. Okay? Actually, it should be the other way around. You should think carefully before promising and not spend any time lamenting. But Dasaratha, unfortunately, he very quickly promises and then laments for a long time. Here also he promised Vishwamitra, ask whatever you want, it will be yours. So he's breaking his promise. That's not good for a king, especially in such a lineage. Then he also promised Kaikeyi, whatever boon you want, whenever you want, I will fulfill. And when she asks, he cannot fulfill it. So she chastises him there also. Then why did you promise then? Okay. So let's get off the Vatsalya boat for now.
Thank you, Prabhu. That's very convincing. Thank you.
Okay. All right, final question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Radha, maybe you can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a question from Vishaka too.
Vishaka too?
So Vishaka's question is that why did Sita step on the line when Lakshman told him not to?
Hey, when did you ask that question?
Why did Sita step on the line? There is no line. So Radha, you were in the yatra, you can explain to your sister that there is no line like that. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So my question is that so you said that Ram goes for hunting. So what kind of hunting is that? Is it the hunting that like you kill animals, or the hunting that you go like a target on a tree or something?
No, hunting like killing animals. For Kshatriyas, it is allowed because it's practice.
Well,
And they can only kill deer and wild boar.
well, doesn't Ram not do that, like killing animals?
Well, think of it this way. If Lord Ram kills an animal, that animal goes back to Godhead. So if anyone else hunts, maybe there is an issue. But Lord Ramchandra has no problem. Lord Ramchandra is playing the role of a Kshatriya. And Kshatriyas, according to the Vedas, are given permission. So the Vedas don't say, don't kill an animal. The Vedas say, kill only if necessary, and within that necessary, certain people have certain concessions. Like Kshatriyas have a concession. Even for meat eating, there is a concession. Once a month, Amavasya night, etc. There are concessions given. So as long as one follows the Vedic laws, one is not affected by karma so heavily. For example, Dasaratha Maharaj and great kings like Prithu Maharaj, they did Ashwamedha Yajna. Ashwamedha Yajna is where a horse is killed. Of course, it gets another body, but still, Ashwamedha Yajna is done. So hunting, all of that is okay. For Kshatriyas, not for anyone else.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you, everyone. We meet again next week. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Ramayanam ki jai.